RP Singh is national spokesperson of BJP. Joining us, Ishkaran Bhandari is advocate of a Supreme Court. We also have with us Khalikur Rahman, leader of the Congress party. Advocate Anmol Pawar is spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. But I want to start first and foremost with Asif Ansari. Asif Ansari, I'm just going to read out one point that the court has made. There are many observations, of course, that the court has made today. But this is one of the things that court has very specifically said, the Chief Justice in particular. The one thing that is very disturbing is the violence that is taking place. The issue is before the court and we will decide. Now, given the fact that even the Chief Justice of India has taken note of the violence surrounding the Waqf Amendment Act, the question that many are asking is that why is the West Bengal government at least appearing to be in denial? Please unmute yourself and speak, Mr. Ansari. We can't hear you.
Mother, can I audible?
Yes, carry on. We can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm just starting with a quote that say, a pebble in the pound creates ripple that is stretched beyond. That was the apprehensions to the Muslim community before passing that Waqf Amendment bill. What is happening in the West Bengal is the repercussions against this Waqf Amendment bill. And that is a total, it's not that we are turning head from the denial. What is happening in Murshidabad, that is really deplorable. And we are too much saddened by the fact what has happened.
No, but actually, you are calling this a repercussion, sir. There is a constitutional process that has been followed. The constitutional process, it has gone through both houses. It has been debated. It has, in fact, many parties have spoken. In fact, all political parties have spoken on this issue. You can challenge it in Supreme Court, and that is the legal process to challenge a law. How can we allow people to take law into their own hands, whatever be the bill?
It has never been told to take law in a hand. Who is taking law in hand? The West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee come out with a vehement warning to any religious outcry.
Sir, it is not a warning. She came out and said, please stop attacking. Is that the way to control a riot-like situation? A law and order situation? The police should be cracking down. Instead, we have visuals of police running away from the mob. Look at, if you can see the screen, this is what happened allegedly in Bangar. There is a video of police running away after their van is attacked. How are we going to ensure law and order, sir? It is a state subject. It is a responsibility of the state government.
It's definitely it's a responsibility by the state government. Mamata Banerjee has said that she has seen the report by the ANI that the union minister from the home minister has been said that some infiltrators are coming from the Bangladesh, and that is the real concern of the national security. It is very much on the record. It has been said the peoples who have found.
So what has the state government done to take those individuals back? Let's assume the BSF has failed. I'll put that question across to RP Singh of the BJP. He's here. We are not running away from that question. But the point is, what has the state government done to crack down on infiltrators? Tell us what the state government has done. 5 things that state government has done to crack down on Bangladeshis illegally coming in.
State governments are very much strict on scanning their documents. They are not being allowed to make any document. That is how they are detaining people.
How many have been detained?
How many
illegals have been detained?
No, that record can be asked for the IT. I don't have the real data.
You don't, because there is nothing that has happened on ground. Let me bring in RP Singh nevertheless. RP Singh, repeatedly this is now being bandied about that it is the center that is responsible. The BSF has allowed for Bangladeshi illegal migrants to come in and cause this violence and chaos, and therefore it is the center that has to account for this. Please respond to this statement being made not just by a panelist here, but also top TMC leadership.
I have 2 points to make, Madhav. One is that it was the West Bengal government, Mamata Banerjee government, which said that BSF should not be allowed more than 15 kilometers of the managing the borders, whereas the rest of the country is 50 kilometers. It was they who stopped it, one. Secondly, Assam has almost 40% population, Muslim population, much more than Bengal on the percentage level. But there is not a single riot happening. It's not the situation always in control. And Assam too have a border with Bangladesh, from where Bangladeshis can infiltrate. Why is it happening in Bengal only? The reason is, if it is happening so, although I strongly feel it's not happening that way. It's the Mamata Banerjee's workers or the TMC workers who are engaged into this. And then it was Mamata Banerjee's statement which instigated this when she said, I will not allow the Waqf Act to be implemented in Bengal, and also her leaders when they said we will gog the eyes of the people who will try to implement the act. If that is the mindset, if that's the tone and tenor of the West Bengal government, then obviously people will go and do what they are doing today.
All right, let me bring in Khalikur Rahman. Khalikur Rahman, moving on as far as the Waqf Amendment Bill itself is concerned, there are repeated points that have been made by leaders, including Congress leader Mr. Gaurav Gogoi, so on and so forth. They've said that it's an attempt to dilute the constitution, all sorts of charges. Today, the Supreme Court has made it very clear that it cannot be declared unconstitutional because limitations can be imposed by the centre. It can be brought in as far as the bill is concerned. So how can it still be called unconstitutional, sir, after all that the court has observed? They've even observed that, ancient monuments, etc. cannot suddenly be called Waqf properties. So the court has come out to debunk several of the pleas that have been made by the petitioners, at least prima facie, as far as its initial observations are concerned.
Yeah, good evening, Madhav, and good evening to all the co-panelists and to all the viewers. In fact, Madhav, because the Supreme Court, in fact, has highlighted the three major, the aspects which, in fact, we have been always raising, even in the debates, and those points were also raised in the parliament and even outside also. Number one, the, Waqf by user. And number two, the nomination of the non-Muslims on the, board. So whereas Supreme Court said it could be only the ex officio. And number three, the powers to the collector. When if any land is in dispute, the collector, in fact, has got the authority to declare that as the government land. So these are the three, major observations which the Supreme Court has, in fact, made. And the Supreme Court, in fact, also hinted at passing the interim order with regard to this, in fact. So, I mean...
Mr. Khalikur Rahman, you know what the court has said today?
Yeah.
It's very interesting you're mentioning Waqf by user, because the court has said to Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi that we are told that Delhi High Court is built on Waqf land. We are not saying that all Waqf by user is wrong, but there is a genuine concern. The court is actually on the side of the fact that there is concern of misuse of Waqf by user. That's what the court has said.
In fact, we are really, happy that the Supreme Court, in fact, has taken the note of this concern. So that is the reason they said that, because, the Waqf by user clause is very important, which cannot be replaced, actually.
But the court is saying it's being misused. The court is saying that there is concern about the misuse. That if the Delhi High Court is Waqf land, let me begin, Ishkaran, on this. Ishkaran, I'm not understanding this argument, because what I can understand from what court is saying is that if they are saying that Delhi High Court is built on Waqf land, it appears to me that the court is expressing concern about the misuse of a provision such as Waqf by user. Let's go point by point, please. 1 minute, Khalikur Rahman. Ishkaran, please come in.
No, because that is your interpretation. You are interpreting it in a...
Madhav, it's a question to me. Can I answer, please? Madhav, the misuse is so overwhelming, and it is a basic principle of law that unless you have documents, if you do not have title, you cannot transfer title. If I do not have this shirt, I cannot give it to you. I cannot give somebody else's shirt to you. That is stealing. That is property grabbing. And that is the entire debate here. But Madhav, the more serious issue, you saw what is happening in this country is Bharat is under a threat, because now an evil strategy has come into being that if Parliament passes a law, you will resort to violence on street so that it does not get implemented. We saw that in Shaheen Bagh, how women, children were made to sit in front in protest against laws, and then Delhi riots happen, and then a Sharjeel Imam says, I will separate Northeast from India. Why? Because Parliament has passed a law. So this street veto of violence, and it's not only on Parliament. You see a court order comes in Sambal for a survey, there is violence. If the court orders come, or if an administration takes an order to remove some encroachment, again violence. This mob rule against law cannot be allowed to go ahead. People have a right to challenge anything in Supreme Court. That is the fundamental right. But resorting to violence as an add-on, as a scare tactic, as a veto, as an ultimatum to the Indian state, that violence has to be crushed, and everybody supporting it has to go to jail. That is required for Bharat to survive and function as a nation of laws.
Okay. Anmol Pawar, I want you to come in on this. The right to protest is a fundamental right. It is a right that is guaranteed under the Constitution. But the problem arises is that when it starts impacting other citizens. We have seen what the courts have said as far as Shaheen Bagh is concerned, and you have Ishkaran who's saying that now you have a situation, and going by the reports, over 400 families, 400 people who fled their homes in Murshidabad, they've actually gone across the border to Jharkhand state. This is a serious issue of concern. One can protest, but can we justify this kind of violence and violent threats that's leading to internal migration?
Madhavji, there are 2 points. First is about the violence. Today, the entire nation sees for what the Bharatiya Janata Party truly is. Although they claim to stand for development, but their action speaks of division and destruction. Just observe, Madhavji, that wherever elections are held, violence suddenly erupts. Is it a coincidence, or is it being carefully orchestrated?
How are you linking BJP with this violence, sir?
And who benefits?
May I ask, how are you linking BJP with this violence?
No. There's a Yale study which says that it is the BJP which benefits from violence. जहां भी चुनाव होते हैं वहां दंगे क्यों होते हैं?
Are you saying that this violence is being done by the BJP? Yes or no? That's a separate matter of study. What if we are discussing what's happening currently in West Bengal?
I am saying that the Bharatiya Janata Party जहां पे भी चुनाव लड़ती है वहां पे दंगे कराए जाते हैं, वहां पे दंगे होते हैं. And this Waqf bill which has been introduced.
Sir, do you have any proof of it? I'm just saying you prove it, sir, that the BJP is responsible. Because the BJP will turn around and say the TMC equally benefits from this polarization.
Can I complete? Madhavji, even the Waqf bill which has been introduced, it isn't about public welfare. It is a calculated attempt to provoke Hindu-Muslim tension, to tear apart the social fabric of our country. And what you were just saying, Waqf by user is a recognized and established principle of law in the Ram Janmabhoomi judgment. Para number 1130 में Supreme Court ने इसे माना है. And today the Honorable Supreme Court said that the legislature cannot declare any judgment or decree of the court as void. ये कहा है Supreme Court ने आज.
I'm sure the court will adjudicate on that, but since you've referred to the BJP, Mr. RP Singh, would you like to respond to what's being stated by Anmol Pawar? He's saying that the BJP is the one that benefits from polarization.
Well, it's shocking. The Home Minister of the state is Mamata Banerjee. The Chief Minister of the state is Mamata Banerjee. She and her party members are just told how they are making provocative statements. And then they are blaming BJP. We are not in power. And then if there is any BJP member, please take action against him. I'm saying on national channel. But fact is that Anmol Pawar, सिर्फ झूठ का गाना गाने से नहीं चलेगा. You have some evidence, please come with evidence. One. Secondly, we all know who's trying to polarize. Mamata Banerjee benefits from polarization, and she has been doing it again and again because she knows that she wants Muslim votes. And that's why she said that I won't allow Waqf Act to be implemented in Bengal. When who is she? It's a central act. She can't deny that implementation. She can't defy that implementation. But yes, because you have to provoke certain set of people. Also today, she went and met the Islamic clerics. I mean, has she met the people who have suffered? Has she gone to the family members of people who have been killed?
Anmol Pawar.
No, not
Anmol Pawar, of course, the fact that, she's only met people of one side or the other is being raised by the BJP and the VHP. But that apart, going by your logic of, wherever there are elections, BJP causes, communal violence. By that logic, Bihar also should be having this kind of violence. Tamil Nadu also, there are elections happening at the same time as West Bengal. Assam and Kerala also going to the polls same time as West Bengal. But that's not happening there. End of the day, it's for the state government, which is responsible for the law and order situation in the state, to take responsibility, sir.
Madhavji, what happened in Manipur? मणिपुर में जो दंगे हुए, क्या किसी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेता की जबान खुली? क्या कोई भारतीय जनता पार्टी का नेता वहां गया? क्या उस पे डिबेट कराए गए? नहीं कराए गए.
अकल से पैदल है क्या ये अनमोल पवार?
आप बताइए कौन गया?
आपने सुना था प्रधानमंत्री ने पार्लियामेंट के अंदर बोला था.
ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट raised very serious concern.
Mr. Pawar, I will just say that any act of communal violence is wrong. Let's not compare one state to the other. We are doing a great disservice to the people of West Bengal, several of whom are currently homeless without any kind of shelter today. But before I get in a quick comment from Ishkaran, I want to bring in fact, Asif Ansari to one question. Asif Ansari, today you have a situation where, leave aside the BJP, even The Indian Secular Front leader, Mr. Nawaz Siddiqui, has come out to say that there is CCTV footage which implies that it's TMC cadre that carried out the violence in Bhangar and not his party, as has been falsely accused by the TMC, he says. How would you like to respond to this, Asif Ansari? This is not a member of the BJP we are talking about.
Well, Madhav, I'm not much was informed about what Naushad Siddiqui has told, but I must quote from the Murshidabad what happened that the Sanjay Kumar Das, there is a one guy, Sanjay Kumar Das, who is a TMC leader. He took out a rally to restore peace and harmony in the area, but his house has been ransacked and threatened by the BJP members that how could you restore a peace in an area? And he is a Hindu fellow. He's a Hindu fellow. If Hindu-Muslim violence is going on, and if you are telling that the Mamata Banerjee government is a anti-Hindu, then his leaders, her leader, Mr. Sanjay Kumar Das, his house has been ransacked and been threatened. If they will come back to their house, he had to flee his house at the night, and not yet he has returned to the house. This miscreant is only happening because of this bifurcation.
Sure.
If you have a numerical strength, Madhav, if you have a numerical strength in parliament, you cannot pass any arbitrary law like this, the Waqf Amendment bill. You have said about
no,
the
everyone has a right to protest, sir, but the problem becomes when you start protesting violently. Since you have not heard, Mr. Asif Ansari, just 1 second. Since you have not heard what Naushad Siddiqui has said, let me just play out that bite for you, and then you can respond to this.
देखिए अभी बंगाल में जो चल रहा है पूरा पॉलिटिक्स चल रहा है पुलिस जहाँ पे एक्टिव होना चाहिए वहाँ पे इनएक्टिव है जहाँ पे मतलब पुलिस का जो रोल वो निभाना चाहिए वहाँ पे जो अपोजिशन पार्टीज का जैसे आईएसएफ वहाँ पे अपोजिशन है उनके ऊपर फेक फर्जी केस बना के इस जो अभी बंगाल में जो अभी आंदोलन चल रहे हैं इसको दुर्बल करने के लिए कमजोर करने के लिए कोशिश कर रहे हैं हम बोल रहे हैं सीसीटीवी फुटेज जो है पब्लिक कर दो जो बंदा उसमें आग लगा रहे हैं एक भी आईएसएफ का कार्यकर्ता नहीं मिलेगा मेरा एजम्पशन है सब टीएमसी का है
Respond to that, Asif Ansari. He says it's only TMC cadre, not ISF who are involved in the violence.
Fair enough. He has asked for a clarification by the CCTV camera. Let's see if the government accept his request to release the CCTV camera. It's fine enough. But now,
so who's going to do that? Is the BJP going to release it? Or the TMC which has to do that?
The TMC, I think it's today's demand today. Naushad Siddiqui has demanded this. Let the government, if the government feel comfortable to release, then it will release.
Why should they not be comfortable?
I must say that this radical mindset of Muslim women, that is why we are saying that Mamata Banerjee is the quintessential secular leader of West Bengal or for India.
Quintessential secular leader. Ishkaran, please respond to this. She is a quintessential secular leader.
Hindu or it by the Muslim.
Yeah, and there are already questions about who all she's meeting. But anyway, I'm going to allow Ishkaran to respond to that point that you're making.
Madhav, it is at a very basic level that law and order is a state subject. We have videos playing out on national television of how people are not feeling safe, of how migration is happening. And if I'm not wrong, one of the leaders said, what is the big deal? Migration is happening from one part to the other part. India has already faced all these problems, even internal migration. People have just one house. If somebody has to migrate from the house, where would they stay? How would they have a roof? But of course, party leaders will keep praising their chief minister or their ministers. The bigger question is, as I said, why do you need to resort to any sort of violent protest against a law? And it is a wrong thing to say that by brute majority you cannot pass laws. That is the entire purpose of election. You win election, you come to power and you carry forward your agenda so that people who voted for you, who felt there needed to be a change, who felt Waqf Act needed to be changed, get satisfied. That is democracy, subject to fundamental rights, which the Honorable Supreme Court has to see, not violence on the street.
Cannot be entertained.
No, I think ultimately the true test will be the constitutional courts of this country.
What is right agenda and what is wrong agenda?
Exactly. It is for the courts to look at it. Let's not. I think we have to wrap up this debate now. I have to thank R.P. Singh, Ishkaran Bhandari, Khalikur Rahman, Advocate Anmol Pawar, Asif Ansari. Any country where there is rule of law, it is the parliament, it's the courts that will decide. It is not the street where people will decide what is going to be a law of the country or not. You can protest peacefully. There is absolutely no problem. But when there is violence, there is certainly an issue with that. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us this evening.